Hi, kids, and welcome to another episode of My REI Secret Weapon, where we are making a deep dive into Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. As you recall, our last episode was Chapter 10 Homework, the mystery of sex transmutation. Wow, I recently had a visit to Jamaica and it turned out pretty remarkable. If you want to hear details, get with me privately. This episode is about the subconscious mind and the importance of training our subconscious mind to live in high vibrational emotions so that when we speak out our intentions to infinite intelligence, infinite intelligence knows exactly what we're asking to deliver, and we're not stepping in the way of our goals and our dreams and the achievement of such by living in the lower vibration emotions. The action that goes along with the thought is very critical. So we're going to dive right in. As you know, my version is the one with the gold bars. I think it's the says 2019 copyright. First edition was made in May 2019. So the chapter 11, the subconscious mind, the 11th step toward riches, courtesy of C. Stacy Sunday, hashtag C. Stacy Sunday. We have the action guide to help us with the homework. The connecting link. The subconscious mind consists of a field of consciousness in which every impulse of thought that reaches the objective mind through any of the five senses is classified and recorded, and from which thoughts may be recalled or withdrawn as letters may be taken from a filing cabinet. The subconscious mind receives and files sense impressions or thoughts, regardless of their nature. You may voluntarily plant in your subconscious mind any plan, thought, or purpose that you desire to translate into its physical or monetary equivalent. The subconscious acts first on the dominating desires that have been mixed with emotional feeling, such as faith. Consider this in connection with the instructions given in Chapter 1 on desire for taking the 6 steps outlined there and the instructions given in the chapter on building plans, and you will understand the importance of the thought conveyed. The subconscious mind works day and night. Through a method of procedure unknown to humankind, the subconscious mind draws on the forces of infinite intelligence for the power with which it voluntarily transmutes someone's desires into their physical equivalent, making use always of the most practical media by which this end is accomplished. You cannot entirely control your subconscious mind, but you can voluntarily hand over to it any plan, desire, or purpose that you wish transformed into concrete form. Read again instructions for using the subconscious mind in Chapter 3 on autosuggestion. There is plenty of evidence to support the belief that the subconscious mind is the connecting link between the finite mind of humans and infinite intelligence. It is the intermediary through which we can draw on the forces of infinite intelligence at will. It alone contains the secret process by which mental impulses are modified and changed into their spiritual equivalent. It alone is the medium through which prayer may be transmuted to the source capable of answering prayer. The possibilities of creative effort connected with the subconscious mind are stupendous and imponderable. They inspire us with awe. I never approached the discussion of the subconscious mind without a feeling of littleness and inferiority due perhaps to the fact that our entire stock of knowledge on this subject is so pitifully limited. The very fact that the subconscious mind is the medium of communication between the thinking mind of humans and infinite intelligence is of itself a thought that almost paralyzes a person's reason. After you have accepted as reality the existence of the subconscious mind and understand its possibilities as a medium for transmuting your desires into their physical or monetary equivalent, you will comprehend the full significance of the instructions given in Chapter 1 on desire. You will also understand why you have been repeatedly admonished to make your desires clear and reduce them to writing. You will also understand the necessity of persistence in carrying out instructions. The 13 principles or steps are the stimuli with which you acquire the ability to reach and to influence your subconscious mind. Do not become discouraged if you cannot do this on the first attempt. Remember that the subconscious mind may be voluntarily directed only through habit under the directions given in Chapter 2 on faith. You have not yet had time to master faith. Be patient, be persistent. Do not become discouraged. Be patient, be persistent. A good many statements in the chapter on faith and autosuggestion will be repeated here for the benefit of your subconscious mind. Remember, your subconscious mind functions voluntarily whether you make any effort to influence it or not. This naturally suggests to you that thoughts of fear and poverty and all negative thoughts serve as stimuli to your subconscious mind, unless you master these impulses and give it more desirable food on which to feed. The subconscious mind will not remain idle. If you fail to plant desires in your subconscious mind, it will feed on the thoughts that reach it as the result of your neglect. We have already explained that thought impulses, both negative and positive, are reaching the subconscious mind continuously from the 4 sources mentioned in the sex transmutation chapter. And I still really liked that chapter for whatever it's worth. For the present, it is sufficient if you remember that you are living daily in the midst of all manner of thought impulses that are reaching your subconscious mind without your knowledge. Some of these impulses are negative, some are positive. You are now engaged in trying to shut off the flow of negative impulses and purposely influencing your subconscious mind through positive impulses of positive and deliberate desire. When you achieve this, you will possess the key that unlocks the door to your subconscious mind. Moreover, you will control that door so completely that no undesirable thought will influence your subconscious mind. Control your mind so no undesirable thought will enter your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is more susceptible to influence by impulses of thought mixed with feeling or emotion than by those originating solely in the reasoning portion of the mind. In fact, there is much evidence to support the theory that only emotionalized thoughts have any action influence on the subconscious mind. It is a well-known fact that emotion or feeling rules the majority of people. If it is true that the subconscious mind responds more quickly to and is influenced more readily by thought impulses that are well mixed with emotion, it is essential to become familiar with the more important of the emotions. There are 7 major positive emotions and 7 major negative emotions. The negatives voluntarily inject themselves into the thought impulses, which ensure passage into the subconscious mind. The positives must be injected through the principle of autosuggestion into the thought impulses that we want to pass on to our subconscious mind. Instructions have been given in Chapter 3 on autosuggestion. These emotions or feeling impulses may be likened to yeast in a loaf of bread because they constitute the action element, which transforms thought impulses from the passive to the active state. Thus, we can understand why thought impulses, which have been well mixed with emotion, are acted upon more readily than thought impulses originating in cold reason. You are preparing yourself to influence and control the inner audience of your subconscious mind in order to hand it over to the desire for success, which you wish transmuted into its monetary equivalent. It is essential, therefore, that you understand the method of approach to this inner audience. You must speak its language, or it will not heed your call. It understands best the language of emotion or feeling. Let's examine the 7 major positive emotions and the 7 major negative emotions so you may draw on the positives and avoid the negatives when giving instructions to your subconscious mind. Let's examine the 7 major positive emotions and the 7 major negative emotions so you may draw on the positives and avoid the negatives when giving instructions to your subconscious mind. The 7 major positive emotions. Number 1 is desire. Number 2 is faith. Number 3 is love. Number 4 is sex. Number 5 is enthusiasm. Number 6 is romance. And number 7 is hope. There are other positive emotions, but these are the 7 most powerful and the ones most commonly used in creative effort. Master these 7 emotions. They can be mastered only by use. And the other positive emotions will be at your command when you need them. You are studying a book intended to help you develop a money consciousness by filling your mind with positive emotions. You will not become money conscious by filling your mind with negative emotions. The 7 major negative emotions to be avoided. And there's some humdingers in here for people who already think that they have a well-trained money consciousness. Number 1 is fear. Number 2 is jealousy. Number 3 is hatred. Number 4 is revenge. Number 5 is greed. Number 6 is superstition. Number 7 is anger. Positive and negative emotions cannot occupy the mind at the same time. One or the other must dominate. It is your responsibility to make sure that positive emotions constitute the dominating influences of your mind. Here, the law of habit will come to your aid. Form the habit of applying and using positive emotions. Eventually, they will dominate your mind so completely that the negatives cannot enter. Only by following this process literally and continuously can you gain control over your subconscious mind. The presence of a single negative in your subconscious mind is sufficient to destroy all chances of constructive aid from your subconscious mind. And so that was oh, we're not done yet. Oh, good. Because I was like, the homework is really kind of lame. Did I say that? No. Important summary points. You cannot entirely control your subconscious mind, but you can voluntarily hand over to it any plan, desire, or purpose you wish to transform into concrete form. The possibilities of creative effort connected with the subconscious mind are stupendous. Don't be discouraged if you cannot control your subconscious the first time you try. It can only be directed through habit. Practice. Try. Remember, your subconscious mind functions voluntarily whether you make any effort to influence it or not. Negative thoughts serve as stimuli to your subconscious mind unless you master these impulses and give it more desirable food. Take action. The following are important major attributes of leadership. Select 7 of these attributes and decide to make them a daily habit, part of your mindset and lifestyle. So the first one is unwavering courage based upon knowledge of self and your occupation. No follower wishes to be dominated by a leader who lacks self-confidence and courage. No intelligent follower will be dominated by such a leader very long. The next one is self-control. People who cannot control themselves can never control others. Self-control sets a mighty example for your followers, which the more intelligent will emulate. A keen sense of justice. Without a sense of fairness and justice, no leader can command and retain the respect of the followers. Definiteness of decision. Those who waver in decisions show that they are not sure of themselves. They cannot lead others successfully. Definiteness of plans. Successful leaders must plan their work and work their plan. Leaders who move by guesswork without practical, definite plans is comparable to a ship without a rudder. Sooner or later, they will land on the rocks. The habit of doing more than paid for doing. One of the penalties of leadership is the necessity of willingness on the part of the leader to do more than is required of the followers. A pleasing personality. No slovenly, careless person can become a successful leader. Leadership calls for respect. Followers will not respect a leader who does not grade high on all the factors of a pleasing personality. Sympathy and understanding. The successful leader must be in sympathy with the followers. Moreover, good leaders must understand them and their problems. Mastery of detail. Successful leadership calls for mastery of details of the leader's position. Willingness to assume full responsibility. The successful leader must be willing to assume responsibility for the mistakes and the shortcomings of the followers. If a leader tries to shift this responsibility, he or she will not remain the leader. If one of the followers makes a mistake and is shown incompetent, the leader must accept that as a failure for hiring such a person. Cooperation. The successful leader must understand and apply the principle of cooperative effort and be able to induce the followers to do the same. Leadership calls for power, and power calls for cooperation. So I took a quick moment to do my assessment, and I found very happily, as we've gone through the homework, that I'm already very well on the path to achieving this money consciousness mindset and coming into my money that I've been waiting for decades and training for decades to be responsible for. I find that I am proficient or mastered at least all of these. So I'm very excited to see that. I see the ones that I need to perhaps work on a little bit more. Sometimes my sympathy and understanding is not keen. I sometimes forget that people are not always cut from the same cloth, and I sometimes overlook the grit that I was born with and have honed, and feel like, well, anybody should be able to overcome any of the things that I was able to overcome, right? And so sometimes I'm impatient with people, and have really high expectations for them, in that I know what they're capable of, but they don't see that they're capable of, and don't necessarily want to see that they're capable of it, right? So, and that's one thing I need to work on. And then the other thing that I feel like I probably need to work on is definiteness of decision, right? Sometimes I can be slow to make decisions. Hire slow, fire fast. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. maybe a quick decision is not necessarily the same as a definite decision. I think I'm pretty good at adhering to. If I make a decision, I adhere to that decision and I write it out and see where it goes. Sometimes it goes nowhere. Sometimes it goes better than I expected. Sometimes it's, a dud. But I carry it through and I make sure to see it through to its end. I don't know what else to say, you guys. Feeling a little low energy the last few weeks. I have a little imbalance in my thyroid right now. So forgive me if I seem a little low energy, but thank you for tuning in at My REI Secret Weapon. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check out my podcast episode on the Investor Tribe podcast. It's on Instagram and YouTube at INV Tribe. And we'd love your feedback on the podcast. You can text me. You can email me. You can go to my website, myreisecretweapon.com. Leave me a message there. We look forward to hearing from you. If you'd like to monetize this, if I'm bringing a blessing to you that you'd like to acknowledge, you have all kinds of ways to connect with me. And I appreciate your gifts and your support. And to your success, till next time, it's Renee. See you later.